Alright, well, what we're trying to figure out here is, well, what I'm thinking about is how exactly we're going to be making effects. And if we have to make a blueprint for every single effect we want to spawn, that might be annoying. On the other hand, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm kind of thinking, like, basically if I got a flipbook, which is, a flipbook is an animated sequence of images with the material and all that. I don't want to play it, I kind of just want to pass it in there. So we just make a simple effect that calls play in the flipbook and then deletes itself. Should I make that in Blueprint? Or should I make that in C++? I am torn. Well, I think I will make some basic effect types in C++ land, and then we will blueprintize them, sort of things. What we're going to want is basically, let's start off with just a very simple thing. Basically, if we go to any entity utils, we should call create effect, like, we just want a simple effect, and we're going to want to pass in a T subclass of paper flipbook. So it's going to be a subclass of paper flipbook. So we want to, is it just paper flipbook.h? So it's going to be create simple animated effect. Whoops, we want all these. So if you give it a flipbook, it's going to return an actor that actually does do these things. So we're going to need an actor which has on it the components which Because who can use that later? Who needs to use it? I'm not sure what is it in that sentence. The effect, or I mean, I don't really understand your question too much. Like, who needs to use it is... If you have an effect and you're returning it from this method, like what? I don't... You're gonna have to try the question completely over again. So I want to make an actor. I should be making a specific actor, shouldn't I? It should be like a Dashkin effect actor. And the effect actor needs to have like a component on it or something else, which takes in some parameters, which I'm going to use. Yeah, but there's... yeah. I think we're talking about totally different things. Because I don't want to just have everything inside of blueprints, because it can be very difficult if you don't have a basis inside of C++. If you want to customize stuff and make complex logic, it can be very difficult in blueprints to do that. So just by having blueprints be your base, you don't give yourself that many options. So usually what I want is I want a base in C++, and then I want a blueprint off of that, so I can use the C++ to make it better. And basically right now, I'm taking the simple approach, which is like, okay, I want to take a flipbook and I want to play that, and then I'm working backwards from there to what the complex final object is going to look like, and I'm having to think about everything else as well. Like, let's say we just create a simple animated effect. I need to spawn an actor. That actor needs to have a flipbook component on it. It needs to have something that's listening for an event of when that is finished, and then it needs to call destroy on that object. Now, I could make a flipbook like component that is just like, I can make a component that I attach to this object, which just has like, it's just listening to this thing to kill itself, and then it kills itself. And I could make that a blueprint, or whatever. I can make that a component and attach it to the actor. You can't just like dynamically add components to objects outside of the constructor for the actor, which is kind of a giant pain in the ass. Like, I'd like an initialize function there where I'm like, okay, make this actor, which is an effect actor, and then just like slap some components on it. That's not really how things work in Unreal. So I can't just be like, you know, a actor equals new actor, and just be like actor.add component, you know, like kill myself on death on animation finished component, and you know, I can't just do that, which kind of sucks. which is what I'd want to do. I'd want to like make these components, you know, be like, you know, a effect actor, you know, it'd be like a Dashkin effect actor equals new Dashkin effect actor, and then, you know, add these sorts of things. Instead, kind of what I have to do is I'd have to make like a structure that's like a Dashkin effect configuration config, and I'd be like config dot kill self on anim finished equals true, and then I'd have to like inside of the constructor for the Dashkin effect actor slap that thing on there. And if I wanted to make a blueprint off of this thing, I can't just access that from code. I can't just be like, you know, my a like auto kill effect actor. You know, I can't just say, oh, well, we should just do that, so auto kill effect actor is the type of actor that we want. But I can go ahead and make an auto kill effect actor that derives from Dashkin effect actor. But do I want to use that pattern for like, okay, I have a new type of effect that has some default or componentized logic, and it's not very good, so I'm kind of not finding a very good solution that I'm happy with at the moment. Because what it seems like I want is I want a blueprint derived actor, but I don't have a good way to reference that from code. Like, I can't just reference the damned actor. Because I can only access that data inside of the blueprint. I can't. The stuff just doesn't freaking exist inside of C++ land. The only way I can think of where I could have my cake and eat it too is where I make a configuration object which takes both the flipbook you want to play and the type of the class that we want to spawn. And that just kind of sucks. That's not really what I want. So it's more of that the effect, the method that I want to be able to call needs to actually know the name of the blueprint of the thing that I want to make, which means if I wanted to add a new type of actor of that sort of effect type, I'd have to recompile shit, which I don't want to do. I want like Adam to be able to make a new effect type and then create it, and also have different parameters to pass in to create that effect. So if it's like, okay, create an effect, and it's like some after image effect, and it's got 3 different things. It's like, which flipbook do you want to play just normally, and then which actor do you want me to follow, and then like what explosion do you want me to play. I want that all parameterized so it doesn't have to be super crazy to call. And it's really a runtime thing. I want to add components at runtime. So I guess I should just be just actually making the effects and slapping on the components that I want, and do something like that, I think. And I'm trying to read right now about creating the component and all that. If it's a good idea to just do this at runtime. And if it's even a pattern I want to start using for things. So I guess I should basically just be spawning the actor and attaching the components to it. The only issue is I'd like to be able to make these components inside of blueprints and kind of attach them there. This was a lot easier when in other systems, like what I would basically have inside of other engines is I would just be like, you know, create component by name, and I would just have like effect kill on anim end, and we'd be finished. Hmm. I have to data drive other things to get this to work how I wanted. So what exactly what I want here? Well, let's just pseudocode it out. Construct the Dashkin effect actor. Attach a flipbook component to the actor. 3. Attach an animation controller to the actor. Attach the kill self on anim finished blueprint component to actor and return. Well, we'd want to set the duration of the flipbook play. Oh, yeah, I guess it's call play on the animation controller itself. I guess this is actually because we want this to automatically play the flipbook animation at a specific speed. Is there a component that we should have that actually tells it to begin play of the object, play the animation at a certain size, and we're just attaching that component to this thing? Maybe that's what we want. So it's like 5, attach the play flipbook on start blueprint component to the actor. This is also, of course, the most entertaining part of engineering, is trying to figure out what the hell you want to do when you know all the things. It's figuring out how you want to set it up so you're not pigeonholing yourself later. Because it sounds like I want an effect component class which I can attach to these things. When I scan the asset registry, I want to grab those and attach them properly. Maybe I'm just overcomplicating all this crap. Maybe this should just be a blueprint function and we should just make it that way, and that's just reality. And that all the stuff should just be blueprint. Not necessarily. There's some good reasons to do it this way. Well, let's see exactly what we can do with this then. We need to add a component. So we're just calling new object is what it looks like. So it's U paper flipbook component. So this is going to be paper flipbook. Let's call a new object on it. Let's see, is it root component? Get root component. And what is this animation controller component need on it for us to actually make it tick? Looks like it's specific to the entity for all these things. So what we need to do is this Dashkin entity animation controller component needs to actually derive from an animation controller component that we have, or do we not need to even worry about it? And we should just use the flipbook component directly. Looks like you might want to use the flipbook component directly. Yeah, we've got these delegates already. but we can grab those whenever we want. So all we need to do is call play on the flipbook component, and but I want all these basic pieces of information on the animation controller. So we do need a base animation controller component, is what it looks like. So we need to basically clone this guy and make a light version of it. So what should we actually, where should we throw this stuff? It's not a character, it's not an effect, it's in a game, so maybe it's like, maybe we just need a components thing, and we'll just call it Dashkin animation controller component. That means we have to do a whole bunch of stuff, but whatever. Kind of what I expected we'll have to do. So it's runtime. Components. T animation controller component source animation ID. So okay, it's the same component. We do not have an entity or get entity. We do have a get flipbook component. Do we have get flipbook? Yeah. And all these plays are just gonna be trash here. These are going to be like play with the animation wrapper, resume stop. And we'll have all of these on animation start, paper sprite, keyframe, event name. Yeah, animation exists. No, we don't have. Don't have any of these things. Get animation by name and type. No, we don't have any of this. Current state is fine. Has any sockets? Does socket exist? Set parent. We don't have that anymore. I think we do have like a void initialize, at least. We do have a flipbook component. Yeah, well, we need one. Yeah, we gotta change all sorts of crap here. This is gonna take a little while. So the animation controller component is here, and we're gonna need the entity animation controller component is actually gonna be derived from it. Come on, let me move that. So all these plays, we're gonna go to Play EX. Resume, clear state change, get current set animation duration. All of these move. These don't need to be there. Animation start callbacks, we don't need those. Animation exists functions, yeah, we need those. We get all the way down to get current state and wanted state. Sockets, then we got basically update and post update we don't need. We'll probably need these to be virtual. Okay. Override. Update animation state data. Well, we'll see if we can get rid of these things. So flip a component should not be here, and these should be protected. Flip component. Yeah, it's just a mess. Alright, so let's go through and remove all the things that shouldn't be here. Flip a component shouldn't be there. Get entity should, set parent is fine. I think basically all this stuff can be thrown away. We don't need the updates inside of here. The rebuild. Let's see. So we should do a super rebuild on that, and basically it's everything after this. Okay, flip a component shouldn't be here. The flipbook shouldn't. All these plays should be here, but then play EX with an actual animation should not. Or maybe we need another play EX, which takes the flipbook, not the anim wrapper. Yeah, it looks like we're going to want another play EX method here. And we're definitely going to want a animation ID or something like that. Maybe it should take a flipbook pointer. Should be like U paper 2D paper flipbook pointer. Call it flipbook. So we actually want this play EX to leave, and we want this to take a U paper flipbook star flipbook. And this should just return play EX, and it should pass the flipbook. Interrupt, loop, start time, duration, and reverse. And this one should not exist here. Animation exists is fine. Get animations, yeah. Current state should be, I don't need that. Has any sockets? Socket transform. Crucible sockets. Animation start callbacks, don't need that. Get animation ID by name. Animation for type and set, and this animation state stuff needs to leave. Basically, refactoring in C++ is a gigantic pain in the ass a lot of the time, and that's what we're doing right now. So it's going to be a gigantic pain in the ass, and we're going to have problems. And yeah, it's super great. Yes, we don't need any of this stuff. Alright, so we need some sort of rebuild sort of thing here. It's like set parent, we want like an initialize. Or we just want rebuild or build or something like that. Let's see, it should be in flipbook, flipbook component. So let's see, using component. How do we grab it? It's like get component. Get component. I guess it's get owner. Alright, so if get owner does not equal null pointer, then it's going to be get owner, get component. And we're going to grab that paper 2D component off of it. Paper flipbook component. Alright, so we're going to have to call initialize from set parent. So it should look like that, and the parent component's initialize we'll call rebuild. Oh, what a wreck. Alright, so we need to call initialize on this stuff anyway when we make it. Get entity does not exist. Wait. Alright, yeah. Null wrapper doesn't exist. This should be Dashkin animation controller component. Then we need to go down the line and set up our class namespaces properly. Okay, that didn't work. I copied the wrong thing, that's why. Alright, well, it's just kind of slow going, which is fine. I was expecting, because that's one of the things I did, is I did not make effects entities. Effects are just other things. And usually what happens when you do that sort of thing, when you all of a sudden when you all of a sudden create another like base game object thing, you want to like start using all your classes all over again. And what ends up happening is you have to break everything that you created. Let's see. Wait, paper flipbook doesn't contain if it loops or not? What the fuck? I mean, it's got to. There's got to be a loop inside of the flipbook, and if there's not, that's kind of silly. I guess loop is on by default. That's just what it does. I'm trying to get the default loop and default frame time. Because I'm very quickly realizing I need a whole bunch of stuff here. Now the flipbook component is going to have a flipbook on it. Crap. Okay, so all the things that we're having to mess with. Yeah, so it's get flipbook on here. Okay, so we need all just tons and tons of different methods here. Is what it looks like. Yeah, we need get flipbook on this thing. God, just a whole bunch of shit here. The duration should be the default duration of the flipbook itself. The flipbook is this guy. Is there a get total duration? No. Alright, so I need a new paper flipbook flip equals flip book component get flip book. If flip does not equal. Yeah, I just need like if flip equals no pointer. Turn false. Alright, starting to see what I have to do here. A lot of stuff to change though, which is always scary. Because when we change a whole bunch of shit, a whole bunch of shit can break.